Well, where are we at here? The Meadows. The Meadows is over today. Geez, I had so many things on the go today. I literally was in between races, bidding on horses and watching horses, and I jump off the bike and go over to the driver's room, and I had an iPad there, and I had a phone there. So we'll talk about the sale. We'll talk about both the purchases and the sales at the sale. We talked about last night, obviously Atlas, Scope's sick, but didn't race good. And, it just seemed, I keep telling you guys, like the stable sometimes is like a dam with, always has little cracks, right? Your fingers are always going in places. I think we did a good job fixing up How the Hell. We'll talk about him in a minute. It took a long time. It's not like he won the Canadian Trotting Classic or anything, but he certainly looked like a horse that's going to be very useful in that class. So, just so much going on in regards to what we did the last 24 hours. So, yesterday's races went pretty well. Atlas, I said, was flat. Don't talk about Bruno. I saw a pretty scary incident. The race before Bruno, it rained really hard, and they went to leave the starting gate. The gate spun out and interfered with the whole field. They canceled the card, and it was a pretty scary looking sight. Thankfully, everybody was okay, that I was told anyway. And Bruno's races were canceled. I had a call from the race secretary saying there's nowhere to fit that race back in the schedule, so what they're going to do is split that purse up between the 6 horses that raced in the race, or was going to race in the race last night, and the points also. So I guess that is kind of important. I want to see how the point system goes for Bruno. I know he won one, but I haven't really followed how many have been involved in the Prospect Series all year. I don't think that many, because I think there was one that was actually canceled because they didn't have enough entries. So we'll see how that plays out. A couple of people asking about Bruno. Geez, guys, Bruno had 4 starts, raced consistently better from his qualifier to his next start, I thought, and then looked fantastic in Clinton. And then, yes, he got roughed up and looked a little flat in Jordan. Not a little flat. Flat would be unfair, because he did get roughed up at Georgian Downs. Now, where might you be going? I was going to throw a little wheel under me. Because he got roughed up and looked, whatever. Looked like a horse that got roughed up, is what he looked like. And I suspect he was going to be in for a better start. His start in the mud was at Clinton. I think it was a little tacky that day. So he might have benefited from a muddy track, but nevertheless, he didn't get to race. So all that money, the whole 8,000 or whatever it is, split up between 6 horses, and everybody gets the equal amount of points. Is the way it was portrayed to me. Okay, so we turn the page, go to today. We still, the majority of our day is not even close to over, but it feels like half of it is, even though it's not half. Half of the day itself is over. Half of our race card is not over. Man, I didn't do a very good job paying attention to the entries. They had me in the 7th and then the 12th. Didn't really need to stay for the 12th. Although I felt bad, because I don't know if I told everybody this, but last week, that horse, I didn't know it was in, and I left after like the 8th race, and I got a call from the paddock judge at the 11th saying, hey, where are you? On the turnpike, where are you? I'm in the paddock. That's where you're supposed to be. So that particular horse was the same horse this week in the last, so I felt... I just felt obligated maybe to stick around, but had I looked closely and realized, hey, you're in the 7th and then not in again until the 12th, I might have asked for a rain check. So just the way it goes, whatever. I had an okay day. We're going to go through our 2 that race day. How the Hell was so good. It's so weird, because I was very worried about taking How the Hell here, because there's no equicizer here, wheel. Here, you're not allowed to. You can't tow him. He's still crazy. There's no pool at the Meadows. So how would he function here? Tim has done Tim and his staff have done a great job with this colt. Spends a lot of time in the field. There is a turnout farm here. Spends a lot of time in the field, back and forth jogging, and they're working on him. But man, just a great. I told him tonight. I said this horse will run away, and when you go to jog him, you're going to be very, very, very careful with this horse that he doesn't shut his air off. And today, I jogged him 3 laps. No problem. Quietest I've ever seen How the Hell in his life. Put the belly band hobbles on him. Man, I said, he's still got that little grit right there. He's such a likable horse. because he wants to get at it. He wants to do his work. I wheeled up alongside the leader in the last turn, and I knew I had him beat. I didn't know how much Mike Wilder had, but I knew I had that guy beat. And how the hell knew he had a beat too. Cleared him, and then Mike Wilder through the inside and won, but how the hell looked very, very good. I haven't checked the charted line, but it had to be a mile and 56 and a piece 57. And did it the right way. First over, looked very, very good, but progressively better than he was last time too. Now we do have the back to the bike hobbles on. Now we've gone to a set of belly band hobbles that he can wear now. Soon, hopefully, he doesn't get out of the gate as good, mostly because he's got a lot of weight on up front, trotting shoes and flip-flops and 3-ounce toe weights and bell boots. It's the only way we can keep trotting before. But the way he felt today, I think we can start shedding some of that weight. Now, this isn't going to happen next week. This will happen over time. You're going to see him get better and better and better and better and better. So it just goes to show you, you guys know there's some horses in the barn that I stick up for just because they're likable horses and they want to do their work. We're going to have even nice horses that come off the track and you didn't put forth a top effort. You didn't put forth a great effort. Now that's the way they're made up. We've had horses that are fast that will not put forth a top effort. But because they're fast, they get away with it. Don't want to name any names, but we all know one. And then we have other horses that just aren't as talented, but just work their ass off. And How the Hell has always been one of them. You guys know, he had his knees operated on last year. They were a mess. A mess. And the only reason he got a good prognosis was because he was racing at the time. Had those knees came onto a surgical table from a horse that was training down, I guarantee you the prognosis would have been poor. They would have said, no, I don't think he can make it. But the fact that he was racing at the time when that knee actually fractured, they said, well, if he's racing on the knees, and they were never great to begin with, if they're racing on them, maybe he'll make it back. And it's been a tough road for not many of you are left. The boat is not filled with the people that left the port on the SS How the Hell, that's for sure. A lot of people, and deservedly so, have jumped ship along the way. And he's just just a nice horse. I was so shocked how quiet he was today. Just a great job by Tim and his staff, just taking care of him. And you can tell it's not easy. It's not easy to take care of a horse that is hot all the time. They're hard on themselves, and he generally is. He was quiet today. You could see it, right? I've always told you got to put him right on the gate. Just put him on the gate and hope he trots. I brought him in slow today. You could never do that with this horse. You saw them try it before. He just bunny hop and canter, and he wouldn't do his work as well. Ow. I'm falling apart at the seams here. Ouch. Might need Tommy John. Anyway, I thought How the Hell, it was just such, it wasn't a big purse, it wasn't a big stake, but it's uplifting to drive a horse. You can get off the bike and say, the bugger, he just did everything he could do. And it's a nice feeling. Regardless of how fast you went to get off the bike, of course, when they do well, finish 1, 2, 3 and have put forth a great effort, it is a great feeling. And proud of the way the horse raced today. Very, very happy with him. Now we also had pull the shoes. I'd said to Tim, warm up. She's been run all over the place this year, here and there and everywhere. She had tied up and had mucus that day. I think she even had a little blood that day in Philadelphia. Remember when she was flat? I think she still ended up second or third or something, but was not good. And then she's had other days where the other day at the Poconos, finished third, but trotted 57 and was bumpy as hell, but still coming forward the whole way. I drove her today, and I could tell in the warm-up she wasn't as sharp as she's been in other races. And you can tell the hot horses, the horses that get grabby sometimes, it's hard to keep them consistently good because there's so many variables that can affect them in such a negative way, in positive way, but negative way also in the races. So it's very hard to keep them good all the time. And I didn't know she'd be coming out of the gate. I knew that, Aaron had left out of there with I think who ended up being the favorite. I was on the outside. I could see Wilbur fishing for a hole. Ron Burke was actually driving in the race. I said to Ronnie afterwards, the smallest person on the track just interfered with the biggest person on the track. Because Ronnie is a big guy. He's got to be 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", something. He's a big boy. And Wilbur is 5'4", so they each kind of just squeezed a bit, and Ronnie's horse just got a little anxious and run. But I didn't want any part of that, so I just looped it around them. I was thinking about maybe looking for the 2-hole after Ronnie had made a break, but then I said, yeah, the way she can put steps in and get a little bumpy, we'll just continue on to the front. I got everything my own way, and she never stopped. She just didn't have that pop on the end of the mile. And, she's got an ear hood on. But she just, you can tell. I knew, but I was also on the front where I could control the fractions. I thought a half in a minute she'd probably win in 58.4. Instead, she was second, third, and just third, 59.2. It wasn't a disgusting mile, but it wasn't a good mile. And even though I knew it coming in, I still have to keep her trotting, right? We saw that earlier. I know I'll talk about that in a second. Rule number 1, keep them trotting. And I thought my best chance to keep her trotting, get to the winner's circle, was to put her right where I put her. And I'm not going to say I was wrong. I still think she's beat if I get in the 2-hole. But she wasn't as sharp as I've seen her. And the good news is, we can fix that. We can sharpen her up. Guarantee you draw her blood or AST's up a lot. She went to the Poconos. She came back here, She was okay today, but not as good as I've seen her. Now, earlier in the day or around the same time, Purple People Eater. I get a lot of messages. Anthony, why are we going to a fair? Well, guys, it's as simple as this. We could race one horse tonight, and I know how hot Sedona Hill can get, and Purple People Eater has been pretty safe. Call a spade. She's been pretty safe. So, if I had one filly to race at Northfield, which is all we could get in, and I had one to race at a fair and potentially not be able to drive her, I think I picked the right way. Now, in hindsight, geez, I wish I had sent Sedona Hill out. That doesn't mean she wouldn't have run. I don't know what the track was like. I don't know what took place. I saw the same thing you did. She went to go to the gate, and she just cantered a bit and run. Was it the surroundings? Was it the track? I have no idea. But relax. Well, the train, she was only going to go a mile, 2.6 today? It's all right. Our plan was always to race her today and come back with a stiff mile with her on Sunday, not Sunday. I would have said Saturday, but I'm not there Saturday. So it'll likely be Monday. I'll ask somebody to win. Maybe Amy can slide in. No, Amy's in Ontario on the weekend. Maybe I'll ask Jason to win and just jog her a little bit on Sunday, and we'll aim to train her on Monday. Monday is 5 days out, or I can train her Friday and do a whole lot of work today. Actually, you know what? That's a better plan. Train her on Friday in 58 at Northfield Park, or 59, and then we'll come back with just a slow mile Wednesday in 25 or 30 with her, just to keep her tight. And I think that's plenty anyway. She's a long year. She's a busy girl. And I had somebody tell me today, Anthony, that the final's in 3 weeks. No, it's not. Her final is next Saturday. And I don't know if I made a big enough deal about it. Gypsy Hill is in the final going for 300. He didn't get a chance to go back. We weren't lucky enough. We were unlucky enough to make the finals with both of our 2-year-old distinctions. Both fillies, Sedona Hill and Purple People Eater, race for 300 next Saturday. Gypsy Hill races for 300 next Saturday. Swinging Senorita races for 300 next Saturday. That's all next Saturday. We didn't get an opportunity. The only horse that, what I would say, lucked out. Now, Gypsy Hill's, I got a huge update for him too, by the way, and I'm saying his name. Irresistible Sun gets to race in the Consolation and the Buckeye final, and I think he'll be very good in both. He's the only one of all of them that actually got to stay down a rung. Gypsy Hill yesterday, I got thinking about it. He made the break in Scioto, right? We trained him before that. We raced him at the fair, and I said, he was good, but he wasn't as strong as I thought he'd be. And he was sound, he was good, he was trotting comfortable. When I moved him, he was all business. But down the lane, I had him wrapped up, and it didn't feel like he wanted to come forward. Was it the track? He's never been at a fair before. There was a number of reasons, but I'll tell you what, you want to know how dedicated our people, all the people around us are? He was going to get back to the barn at 5 o'clock on an off day. I called Dr. Latessa. I said, Doc, would you do me a big favor? I know he lives in the area. I've been to his house. I said, would you mind going back and scoping Gypsy Hill? You know, it's only 10 days to the final, and I got this feeling. I want to know for sure that everything was okay with him. Sure enough, he went back and he bled. That's a bad thing that he bled. It's a good thing that we caught it. We can put him on Lasix now and race him in the final on Lasix, and I got thinking about it. Last time he raced good, he gave me the same feeling pulling up. He won that night. We didn't scope him. Why would we scope him in the test barn? Makes no sense. Trained him in between, and then he made the break. Qualified in between, actually. He was never scoped in any of those races. This isn't a yesterday thing. This has been going on for a little while. The last time I felt him powerful was the night I slid through the inside at Northfield to win, and the start before it when he won in Scioto. Those are the last two starts I felt the power that he's had before. So all the stuff you've seen Gypsy Hill do in the last month and a half or so, month anyway, he bled. So he's going to join the Lasix program and race next Saturday on Lasix, which I think will help him. Probably see that power come back. So now that we know that we have an issue, we've just been so focused on working on that left hind leg that he hit and he bruised. We didn't realize we had two issues to work on. So the left hind leg thing, Jason Merriman and McGinnis and everybody that works on those horses have done a tremendous job with Gypsy Hill. He looks very, very good now. I don't know if Lauren still has him back or not. Lauren might have him back. Regardless of whoever's looking after him, doing a hell of a job. For a horse, for him to get around that little bull ring yesterday as well as he did, very good job. So Gypsy Hill, a huge update there. I think he will be ready to rock, I think, for the final. Again, we'll probably train him a slow mile on Lasix at the end of the weekend. Maybe even a very slow mile, depending on how he looks, how his blood comes back on Saturday. Come back with another slow mile middle of the week. And no speed, don't want any hard speed with him. But I do want to make sure he gets used to the Lasix too, because we've seen this summer a couple of times where maybe not their first start, but their second start, they were better on Lasix. So it is important. So a huge update there for the people worried about Purple People Eater. Relax. There's no other way it was going to play out. Everybody said, oh, you should have done this and you should have done that, or maybe you should have qualified her. You know what? If she had went out and won, I guarantee you I wouldn't have got any messages about her today. All the messages I've got, shockingly enough, were all after the break. Oh, no, that's not true. Pete did send me one before, I believe. And it was more a cautionary email, which I am always worried too. There's a reason I'm driving all over the hell. I'm driving all over the place. Everywhere. Something goes wrong, I'd rather it be my fault, but I can't be everywhere, and I could not. There's no mathematical way that I could race Purple People Eater today. And that is not to say that Jason Merriman did anything wrong. She first started a fair like that, different surface, different track, different everything, different driver. And she made a little miscue. A 2-year-old trotting filly made a miscue. Well, it happens. You know when we don't want it to happen? Going for 300. And don't ask me just yet who I'm going to drive, because both fillies I drive. And I cannot drive both. So we're going to see. You know what it's going to come down to? I'm going to be as clear as I can. Which one draws better? Because both of them, there's not one that needs me any more than the other. That's what it'll come down to. So we'll see next weekend. For all of you guys that want to come down, we are trying to do something with the track now. We do want to have seat reservations for everybody that wants to come down. So I think Kelly's in charge of that. Listen, between the consolations, hopefully Coop gets in a little closer than we thought. It might even come down to a coin flip with Coop. That's a little nail biter too. But we should have a lot of horses and a lot of big races next Saturday. It should be a lot of fun. A little nerve-wracking. Hopefully we get a little luck, but a lot of fun. So that is the first part of today, of racing. It's not the first part of today, though. A lot of other storylines underwent today. I bid the last 4 days, I bid on probably 8 or 9 horses that I thought were worth looking at. There were a couple of horses today I was going to look at. There were 4 yearlings that I was interested in. Now, Joe Cramped, very good old horseman. He rides for us, has his own horses that he's trained forever. His son Joey works for us, great people. Joe went down today, took our 2 fillies, Levac in Action and Cherahola, down to the sale. They both sold. Cherahola went for 10 and Levac in Action went for 7. Pretty much what I thought they would bring. And I did have some yearlings. What a Mission's Brother was in the sale by Marseille. Liked him. Actually, I like 3 Marseilles, or as Joe called them, Marcels. I like 3 Marcels. Didn't get any of them. One of them had a nice video, but had lost his eye, which I'm not going to discriminate over vision, but he just went for a little more than I thought he would. I think he went for 9,000 or 10,000. What a Mission's Brother went for like 34,000. I think Rosie bought him, so good luck to her. The other horse he said he didn't like, I can't remember what it went for, but there was one more very interesting horse, a full sister to No Chance in Hill. Now, for those of you who thought that maybe I really didn't like No Chance in Hill as much as I said I did, and that, I was snowing everybody over, I bought that filly today. I love No Chance in Hill. Thought he had a beautiful gait and a great attitude. His full sister was being offered. She went for 16,000. We bought her. Now, it's funny because somebody had said, well, Anthony, you bought him for 10. That's probably why he was in that sale, that little fish in big pond mentality. That's what Steve was saying today about some of the horses, right? You wait, you start at the start of sale season, and a couple of horses, you look back and how'd that horse bring that? You take a couple of those horses and put them in the select sale. How do they look? I don't know how What a Mission's Brother looked. I assume he was small, because Mission's a smaller horse. I assume he was small, but I don't know for sure. And I was, and you stuff them in the select sale, and maybe they're not as sought after. But you look at Barn Girl, who made 800 and some thousand. What a Mission is in the family. He's made 70, trotted in 54. Now you have this Marseille brother to him at a small sale. Truthfully, probably one of the better looking horses, I suspect, at the sale. Probably, actually, might have been the highest price yearling. If I was to guess, maybe. But a little higher, quite a bit higher than I was willing to pay. But when it came to No Chance in Hill's sister, yes, 16 for me. Joe loved her. Such a beautiful filly, got a real good size to her. Her video was nice, stood correct. Yeah, that's what she was worth. I told him to go to 17. He got her for 16. So we bought. Well, it's not our first yearling, because we did buy Cash Deal's brother. We did buy him. Got to pick him up. Now we have 7 yearlings heading into sale season. Yearling season, we already have 7 yearlings. So No Chance in Hill. I'm going to put all the shares up. I imagine everybody wants to. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to get involved. I don't know. But I had a lot of respect for No Chance in Hill. His injury is healed. We're giving him tons of time. He's jogging every day. He's looking good. Very, very happy with what I've seen from him, and so much so that I bought his sister, and I think that's exactly what she was worth. So, always on the lookout for racehorses also. We had sold 2, I told you. Cherahola and Levac in Action left. We had bought the sister to No Chance in Hill today. And I did have 2 racehorses. The first one went really high. Good looking horse, but a lot of wins. It was Coach something. I didn't think he'd bring that much. Certainly nowhere near it. In fact, it was funny because somebody called me minutes before he went in the ring, and I was just about to go on the track. And he said, "Are you bidding on this horse?" I said, "I think so." He said, "Well, what do you think it'll bring?" I said, "South of 40. Close to, but south of 40. He goes, "Yeah, I was going to go to 35. We were both wrong. I texted Joe and I said, "Go to 40. He went for 65, maybe 55, 65. We weren't even close, though. And then the next one was a horse that Ron Burke had been racing in. Looked like condition claimer type thing, but his second last start, he went at 49-2 in Scioto. Serious Dragon was his name. 9 wins, 90,000 made, mark of 49-2. We bought him for $40,000. Now, he might have been close to getting out of that class in Scioto. He might be close to getting out of the class here if we chose to race him here. But where he does fit, if they write it frequently, and I have to check that out, is the optional 50 claimer in Mohawk. All year they had, on the trotting side, that's where we raced Unbeatable Kemp. Non-winners of so-and-so, also eligible, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, 50,000 claimer. Which I thought was pretty fair. Now, we had lost Kemp out of there. I think the pacing side one had gone, either full-time or sporadically. I'm going to look into it and make sure that there's a class there for him. But my take on him is he's probably going to head right down to Ontario and race under Harry Polton in that class if it fills all the time. Now, the reason I'm saying as long as it fills is because we took Quan Blue Chip all the way over to the Meadows. We're going to train him today, enter him for Saturday. Class didn't go. Now, Tim had just told me it goes every week. I don't know why it didn't go this week, so I made him a deal. We're going to enter the horse at Scioto on Friday. Now, there's a whole lot of stipulations about getting in at Scioto. They make it hard to get in right now. Virtually, if you're not racing there, you're not Ohio bred, you're not an Ohio horseman, you're not welcome unless they need you. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what the doormat says. So I had called the race secretary and said, hey, do you happen to need a 20 to 25 claimer? And he said, well, we write 2 or 3 of them a week. They've been filling. He said, I'm going to write it back next Friday. I said, okay. No guarantees. But the good news is we can enter him in Scioto for Friday, in for 20. And if he doesn't get in, we can enter him back at the Meadows. Now, the same thing could happen. Maybe it doesn't fill at the Meadows, but it has been filling. So we should be able to get him in to go. So that's Quan Blue Chip. That's Serious Dragon. I can't remember the filly's name. No Chance in Hill's sister. That's her. The 2 horses are sold. We talked about the 2 we raced. Good luck to the Sweeney Group, Wallop Group, Sedona Hill, Born to Dance, Merchant Man, and B. Lisa racing tonight. We have 6 in. As soon as I get to Northfield Park, I'll have to start going. But we have 6 in tonight at Northfield Park. Busy day again tomorrow. We got Vaquero Blue Chip, Lonely Lakewood, Our Girl Think of Galaxies, I Forbid You is racing. Then at Mohawk, Widespread Panic, Time Is on My Side are racing. Absolute Euphoria is also racing. And then the nightcap will be Gandalf the Black. Just so many things going on right now. And now, in case I wasn't busy enough, let's just start sprinkling on the yearling sales. So maybe tomorrow we'll start talking about them a little more in depth. We get through the Ohio sale. There isn't a whole lot left as we head into Ohio, so it's going to be full speed ahead to the Ohio Select, which is coming up in about 3 weeks, I think. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you had a wonderful day so far. Maybe, because I'm not done late, I probably won't give you an update till tomorrow on what takes place or what took place at Northfield tonight. But it should be a good night.